All right, everything is all set up. Everything seems to be firmly locked into place as far as GoPros are concerned. And let's see if my new mount works. Certainly bouncing around a lot. Because that plastic elbow that I'm using is not the most rigid thing in the world, and I have so many different things attached to each other that it ends up being a little bit not so solid. As I mentioned, this cave is not very far away. You basically leave Umphang, go back to an intersection with another road, maybe 4 or 5 kilometers away. And beyond that and at that intersection is another tiny town, smaller than Umphang. And beyond that, a few kilometers, is the cave. Oh, big gas station. Always nice to know where the gas stations are. I'm going to need to fill up the tank before I go back to Mesot. And on my way to this cave, I'm actually going to pass, Umphang Museum. Well, something else to check out. I love a good museum. There's actually a nice coffee shop on this highway. Heading towards the cave. So I think when I leave the cave and come back, perhaps I will stop off at the coffee shop for either a coffee or a smoothie, something like that. I went there yesterday and hung out for a good part of the day. It's really nice too. Just passing by that coffee shop. Yes, definitely stop there on my way back. There seem to be local elections going on all around Mesot and here in Umphang. I see signs for candidates running for different offices. I have no idea whether these are for the province, Tak province, or for Umphang or local city councils. I don't know. But I can't figure out what the signs mean, because these signs will have the picture of the candidate, and then underneath them it has a number and an X. So here's one candidate has 5X and the other one has 16X under his name. And I don't know what that 1X, 2X, 3X, 15X means. Here's the intersection of the main highway that takes you to Mesot, turning to the right. And if you go straight, this takes you to the cave and then to the Ti Lo Su waterfall. And I think this place is a separate town from Umphang, but again, I don't know the name of it. Yeah, here's one of these signs that I was talking about. I'll stop and see if I can get a nice close-up of it. But yeah, I mean, this guy on the far left, 8 times, then 9 times, 17 times, 18 times. Over there, 2 times, 3 times, 7 times, 11 times. I have no idea what that could possibly mean. But they are all running for offices of some kind. town of Umphang sits at a point where two rivers meet. And again, this is the dry season, so the rivers aren't very high, but this one still seems to be flowing pretty well. I guess these two rainstorms, I'll swing the GoPro. There's the river. It's probably the Umphang River. And in happier times, you could probably hire a trekking company to take you down that river on a raft. Oh, here's a sign for the cave, so we can get the name of it. The Takhobi Cave Park. Here we are, found the entrance. What could be smoother than that? Oh, okay, big sign here. What do we got going on? The Takhobi Forest Park from the Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation. And I guess the cave is in here somewhere. A couple of signs, but of course they're in Thai, so I don't know what they're saying. Now my GoPros are really bouncing around to see whether the legendary GoPro stabilization can deal with this kind of bouncing. Yeah, I didn't see anything listed online about a park, like a big conservation park or anything like that, so I don't know what is here. I'm half expecting to find closed gates, and I won't be able to go any farther. Oh, okay, no, there's a gate that's open. Little checkpoint. Okay, kind of a ranger station or something like that over there. And where does one park your scooter? I will just put it over here in the shade and see if anybody tells me different or that I should go somewhere else. Oh, there's the cave right ahead of us. I see a sign. So, we've arrived at the cave. Kind of a park ranger or two came out of the building to my left, and I waved at them, and they pointed towards the cave as if asking, "Is that where you're going?" And yep, that's where I'm going. But here's where I am. There's the ranger building over there, and some bathrooms over there, and then kind of a driveway that goes around in a circle. Nice. bamboo, bird song, trees, and the Takhobi cave. I wonder if this is the entire cave, what I'm looking at right now, or does it go any deeper? Well, we will find out in a minute. Very jungly setting. And I did bring my flashlight with me, so if the cave does go deeper and I need light, I at least have a little bit of light. Whoa! That whole wall is covered in spiders, like Daddy Longlegs style. I thought I don't know, I saw something moving. Like I thought the wind was blowing something, but it was all spider legs. See them? Look at them. Amazing. They could sense that I was getting near. I mean, a couple, maybe several hundred of them. Look at that. The whole wall is covered with them. Huh. So. Oh. Oh man, they're everywhere. All over here too. One of the things I noticed when I visited the cave south of Mesot, I've forgotten the name of it, the blue one, kind of the blue cave. One thing I noticed when I was there, that there was no wildlife inside the cave at all. Like I didn't see any creepy crawlies, no spiders, no lizards, no crickets, no beetles, nothing. I mean, I didn't see anything at all there. And it seemed unusual. Caves, to me, mean creepy crawlies. And at least this cave has a few. At least they're over there at the entrance. Oh, it's nice and cool in here too. You can really feel cold air. Very cool. These are always cool when you get a stalactite and stalagmite combination coming all the way from the top all the way to the bottom. So in fact, it's both at the same time. Just as with the other cave, my initial reaction is always just how long it would take for even a simple thing, like this to develop, with water dripping on it from the top, and then it slowly builds up into this mound. Whoa. Ah, cool. I imagine it's, possible to go down there. But let's go up here for a second. Time to break out my flashlight. Not the most powerful flashlight in the world, but it should suffice to get me through here. I'm so focused on the roof, I forgot to look at my feet. I better make sure I see where I'm stepping first, right? And then, once I know where my feet are going, then we can worry about what is above me. Those must be, bats. Lots of bats. I don't want to bother them and, disturb their rest, but I want to get a little bit closer just to see them. Oh, I've disturbed them. They're all going away. Look at that. And I don't think this cave is particularly deep, but I am going to mark my progress as best I can. So there's the entrance over there, still clearly visible. So Check out this structure right here. That is very cool. And I believe a stalagmite starts from the ground and goes up, and a stalactite is the one that comes down from the top. I think the way I remember that is that stalactite has a T in it, and the letter T is the same for top. So T for top, and then T for stalactite. And that's how you remember which one comes from the top. And then stalagmite, of course, is the other one, comes from the ground. But it's possible I'm remembering that completely wrong. Caves, man, they are so spooky. They really are. I mean, there's absolutely nothing to be worried about here. And yet, just me being in here, I feel kind of spooked. So let's go forward a little bit. I just want to see where this goes. A little bit steep, so you got to be careful where you put your feet. I do not want to slip. Just go a little bit further to the edge, a little closer. I wonder if this, there's like a, I don't know what you would call it, a trough or a passageway down there. And I wonder if that goes all the way to the front. So I can probably walk down there from the front. Now I'm so busy watching my feet, where I place them, I forget about my head. And then I could run right into one of these things, give myself a good crack on the head. Oh, we're back at the entrance to the cave. So that was cool. Enjoyed that little excursion. Now it's time to find this other entrance into the cave. Whoa. Spiders. I wonder if there are always this many of these spiders around, or this just happens to be a breeding time when, you know, thousands of them suddenly emerge, because there's these plants below me, little green leafy plants, and they're just covered in these spiders. They're everywhere. And I was looking at this sign here. You know, some kind of a, talking about the vegetation here, and I was paying attention to the sign, trying to see if there's anything in English, and then I suddenly noticed that it was just covered in spiders on the back. There's like a whole colony of spiders back there. But look at these, I don't know if you can see them, but these plants, it's like they're moving. But it's just that they're covered in these spiders. You can see them running along the ground there. I'm sure one or two of them are going to start climbing up my body at some point. I'll probably find one on top of my head, or whoa! Look at that over there. Hundreds of them. Just a colony of them. But they're really, what's striking me about them is they're really aware of their surroundings. Like, I'm not used to a spider knowing that I'm standing here, but these spiders clearly know that I'm here. They sense me in some way. They see me, hear me, or vibrations, I don't know. But they're really responding to my presence. And you wouldn't think spiders would be that sensitive. So here's this tunnel that I saw from up above. Not really a tunnel, but like a hallway almost, a passageway. Ah, nice. That's where I was when I first came in, up on that layer up there, and then Very cool. I wonder if this passageway, it feels like the floor beneath my feet feels like a riverbed, like clay. And it just sort of looks like water flows along it at regular intervals because it just feels so smoothed over. So maybe when there's a heavy rain, you actually get water coming in here. Ooh, there's a fence. Whoa. Whoa, okay. I guess that's something else to think about. Oh my goodness. I'm walking along on what I think is ground, but of course if I'm in a cave, there's a very good chance that there are other caves underneath me, right? So at some point, the floor just fell through here. And not to get overly dramatic, but who's to say that the floor won't suddenly drop out over here somewhere? Because there's probably caverns and caves and passageways underneath me, where I'm walking. This is very much Lord of the Rings kind of stuff right now. It feels like there could be the largest bear you've ever seen in your life kind of living at the end of this tunnel. Whoa, bats. Yeah, it's pretty high above me. I'm hearing a lot of that bat chirping. Oh my gosh, look at that. No wonder I was hearing a lot of bat chirping. That's a lot of bats. They're quite high above me, so I don't know how much my being here would bother them. So far, they're staying put. Making a lot of noise. Just for fun, I'm going to turn off my flashlight. It is pitch black in here. I'm aiming the GoPro right at my face right now. I don't know if the GoPro sees more than my eyes can, but my eyes right now I don't see anything. I just see black in every direction. Yeah, I guess I'm really depending on this flashlight even to get out of here. If this flashlight goes out, for whatever reason, I'll definitely have to, I've got my smartphone. I've got 2 smartphones with me. They both have full batteries. They both have flashlights, so I do have a backup now that I think about it. Let's turn my light back on. And there I am. Again, caves have this weird atmosphere. I mean, I'm in a cave just a short distance, and yet I'm talking, and I have this mood like I'm on my way to the center of the earth or something like that. Yeah, caves just have that effect, don't they? Time to see how far this passageway goes. Whoa. Sharp turn to the right. So there's much more of this cave than I expected. It goes on. At least so far, there aren't any intersections. It's not like I reached a V where I can choose whether to go left or right. There's only one direction, so at least there's no possibility of getting lost. I can either go forward or I can go backward. There's no side caves. Man, more of it. I think I'm going to get out my smartphone and see whether it can add more light to the scene. Well, it does seem to make a difference. This is this rock with both my headlamp and the phone. And if I take the phone away, that's just my headlamp. Taking out my phone made me think of the endless movies where people get lost inside caves or something, and then they all get out their phones, and one of them always has to say something like, "Oh, I don't have any bars." You know, they always look for a reception down inside the cave, and of course, this is like the last place you're going to get any bars, as they say. Yeah, the phone actually casts quite a bit of light. What was that? I think that was a bat, but big one. Whoa. Oh no, okay. It's not the bat that I was seeing, it was the shadow of the bat, and that's why it looks so big. It wasn't the bat itself, it was the shadow. More cave. I keep expecting it to end, but there's more turns. Oh, maybe this is the end of it? Whoa, stalactite. No, it goes on. What? Okay. I'm starting to get a bit of a sense that I'm twisting and turning, so got to keep an eye out, make sure I'm not heading down any passageways without realizing it. There's no way you could keep your bearings down here if it happens to go on for a long way and you get turned around. I don't see any of these spiders. And I expect to see millipedes or centipedes. No, millipedes really, in caves, but I haven't seen any at all. There's a neat little stalagmite. Whole bunch of them there. Little ones just starting to grow. Reminds me of, a game I would play as a kid on the beach in Canada, where you can take sand in a bucket with a lot of water, and then you dribble the sand out of your fingers, and you can actually build up castles that look exactly like that, out of sand. Look at this stalactite. Very cool. But I was certainly not expecting, wow, check that out, such a long cave. I didn't think it would go anywhere near this deep. Well, not deep. I haven't gone down at all, at least not that I can feel. Not far underground, but I mean just deep into the mountain, into the hill. And it keeps going. There's a corner again. I think if it goes much further than this, I'm going to just call an audible and say, I've gone far enough. Because, yeah, look at that stalagmite, almost as tall as me. And you have to wonder just how often a drip of water hits this thing. You know, from up there. Yeah, I could stand here and time it, but the top of it is, yeah, it's completely dry. So it's not like there's a drip of water every 5 seconds or even every 10 minutes. It's probably like one drip a day, or maybe it only drips during a rainstorm. And then you can only imagine how long it takes for a structure like this to grow. Going through kind of a low passageway here. Getting narrower, and the ceiling's coming down. I need a free hand to get through here, so I'm gonna put my phone away. Okay, let's work our way through here. I heard some wings fluttering, even this deep, so there's bats back here as well. Little passageway over there. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. More. Doesn't look like the GoPro can pick it up at all, but this area over here is another big area where the cave keeps going. And over here, there's nowhere to go. But yeah, you can certainly see how you could get turned around, because the passageway that I just came through is right there. And after I've come through it, you just can't even see it anymore. Like here it is right here, blocked by here, and you have to, it's like, oh, okay, there it is. But just standing over there, all you see are these stalactites. So you don't even see the opening where you just came from. Let's fire up my phone again just to get a bit more light. This is me, just to remind you what I look like. I just keep having the camera pointed away from me. Since I've been standing here, I felt wind from bat wings going right past me. So there's still quite a few bats all the way in here. And here's this big open area that I was talking about, where the cave just keeps going. It would not surprise me if a pterodactyl suddenly appeared. Just has that atmosphere, you know? There's some more water back here. I noticed, like here, for example, this rock is quite wet. So it's dripping from up there somewhere. Certainly easy walking anyway. I mean, this is practically a garden path as far as caving is concerned. I'm just walking along a perfectly smooth, soft garden path. I know I sound like a broken record, but I cannot believe that this cave keeps going as far as it's going. Not that a cave shouldn't go this far. It's just that no one has ever talked about this cave. When anyone talks about Umphang, read about it. My guidebook entry about it, no one mentioned a cave like this that is also so easy to get to. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is amazing. Sand. Look at that. It's like a beach. Yeah, this is kind of wet as well. Yeah, this whole area is, the ground now is fairly deep, soft sand. Okay. Well, I think the next time the cave narrows down to a small passageway, I think I will end my explorations there. I think these are my favorite types of formations in caves, these ones that end up with almost rounded surfaces, like waves almost, curved. You can see a couple up there. Look at that one. That is so cool. You could almost convince yourself that the water flowed over there in one wave and then froze in time, Like it just caught it in motion. Actually, this one is so wet, I think you can still see drips of water. Yeah, look at that. There's a big water droplet. Oh, it just fell. Yeah. Ooh, one just hit my hand. The cave is trying to turn me into a stalagmite. I guess if you were trapped down here and you had some kind of a container, you'd put it underneath here and at least get a drip of water occasionally. Look at that. This one looks broken. And you can see the white coloring of the mineral. I assume it was taller than that and then it broke for some reason. Cave goes around the corner here. This also makes me think of Huckleberry Finn and books like that, where at the very end of the cave you'll find a group of thieves hiding with all their loot. And they're not people you want to run into this deep in a cave. And not to go on and on and on, as if this is some sort of amazing adventure or dangerous adventure, but when I see all of this sand, and you can feel how wet it is, actually, it's getting wetter, you do wonder whether a sudden rainstorm on the outside would send some water into this cave. Like, is there a risk of some flooding in here as well? I mean, that's how that group of boys got trapped in Thailand a couple of years ago, right? They went into the cave and then it rained outside and then the water levels rose inside the cave and they got trapped inside. But of course, they went into a major cave system, a much more challenging cave than this one. Again, I honestly thought this was the end of the cave, But the closer I get, it suddenly seems like there's an opening again. Yeah, there's another opening that keeps going. This is crazy. Oh. Again, I don't think the GoPro can see it, but this is a big cavern. Look at this. Again, this looks exactly like some kind of formation would be formed by water flowing over it, you know, like a river or something. Okay, I'm gonna need my hands to get down here. Oh, whoa. It was a bigger drop than I was expecting. Look at that, there's even driftwood down here. All right, I think we are approaching the end. Look at this. I don't know what's going on here, but there's a kind of a, you know, an edge and then a drop off to some very sharp and jagged rocks. Look at that. There's like a round basin there that looks like it fills with water. I'm just going to climb up here a little bit just so I can see what's going on over there, but I think I'm going to take this as the end of my trip into the cave because I'm not climbing down there. No, thank you. Not without someone with me at the very least. You do not want to slip down there. And this is turning into a little bit more scrambling and from this point, I think the cave might get a bit more confusing. Whoa. There's like a bridge there. That section I saw right there that drops down continues, and then there's like a bridge here that goes across with a gap underneath it. And I'm guessing, man, I need a bit more light. My hands are all covered in beach sand. More light. Come on, phone. Help me out. So that's what I'm looking at, and I suspect that if I did, climb down there, the cave would continue. There's probably more passageways at the end there, but things are getting a little bit more complicated. And the sight of these gaps and the openings with the little bridges and all the sand just makes me a little bit nervous. You don't really know what you're walking on top of anymore. So I think this is as far as I'm going to go. I wonder how far I came in. I mean, I've been walking pretty slowly, so I can't really judge the distance, to be honest. It's probably not nearly as far as I think it is, but still. Well, let's climb up onto this flat platform up here. Oh, take a look around. Seems nice and solid up here. But yeah, I probably could climb down. There's another flat surface down there. And then it continues off to the back there and probably around the corner here. The cave probably continues. But I think I've seen enough of the cave. Time to turn around and head back. Yeah, different colored stone here on the side with kind of a barrier in between them. I'm sure a geologist could tell me all kinds of interesting things about all this stone. Hello? Hello? Echo, echo. Oh, spooky in my head. Since I was walking in this direction, pointing ahead of me, I just sort of assumed, the trail would keep me going in that direction. And then I ran into that. It was like solid wall. It was like, uh-oh, am I lost? I mean, I can't go forward, but then I looked to my left and there's the passageway that I have to follow to get to the front. So it does start to feel pretty spooky when you're in here. You feel like you could lose your way. Look at that. I didn't see this so clearly because I was coming from the opposite direction, but look at those curtains. That's the word I'm looking for. The curvy, flat nature of it makes it look almost like curtains of stone. Wonder why in some places it develops curvy, flat formations like this. And you can see really big ones up there. And then in other places, it's more bumpy and rounded, sort of like, this structure here, that you see, all just kind of lumpy. And then right beside it, you have these smooth curtains of rock, of mineral. I assume it's because it's a different type of mineral. You can see where it broke open up there. It's nice, it's beautiful white on the inside. I think from this point, since I'm backtracking all the way to the beginning of the cave, I'm going to turn the GoPro off and not record the whole length of my return journey. But if I stumble across something really interesting, I'll fire up the camera for a little while. But if not, I guess I'll turn the camera back on when I get to the entrance to the cave. I just realized that maybe if I put you can see a shadow behind me on the cave wall. Yeah, spooky. Okay, I'm gonna turn the GoPro off. Well, I fired up the GoPro not because this is such an amazing sight, but it just really surprised me. I came across this tiny stalactite, and I noticed it had a drip of water on the very end, so the end of it was a big drip of water waiting to fall, and then it did fall. But when you look around it, on the outside, it is completely dry. So water is currently flowing through this, dripping off the end of this stalactite, but it's not running along the outside of it. It's actually soaking right through the middle. It's like oozing through this rock and coming out right at the tip. So this rock is actually porous, and the water is seeping through tiny holes in the rock, not just running through cracks. Because if it was running through cracks, you could see the water on the outside, but it's all perfectly dry. So I didn't realize that it worked that way, that it actually, the water oozes through the inside of the stone. That's very interesting. Back, I made it to the entrance. I found my way. Just started to see the light a short time ago. And there it is, I'm back at the surface. Whew. That was quite the small adventure. I had no expectations for this cave, as I said, because I knew nothing about it. Whenever I mentioned to anyone I was going to Umphang, it was all about the waterfall first and the road second. No one ever mentioned a cave, so I didn't know anything about it. Here we are, with a bit more light. Oh yeah, we're back in the land of spiders. I forgot about the spiders. They're here in their hundreds, thousands maybe. Yeah, now that I'm back at the entrance, how far in did it go? It's hard to say, but it felt very far when I went in, but of course I'm going slowly and I'm looking around all the time, and coming back was a lot faster. Maybe a kilometer, could be a kilometer to the point where I stopped. Not further than a kilometer, but trust me, that doesn't sound like very far, but inside a cave, yeah, a kilometer actually feels like a long distance. Maybe 3/4 of a kilometer, up to a kilometer, something like that. That's my guess anyway. Spiders. Look at them there. Yikes! They're all over here too. And I was standing right beside that rock. I had no idea how close I was to them all. How in the world do they get around, considering how long their legs are? They're all, tangled up with each other's legs. Crazy. A couple other things occurred to me thinking about this cave. One is that I was talking about how it might be wise to have a system where visitors register, sign in and sign out, and then the rangers know whether someone, if 5 people went into the cave, 5 people came out, well, they know nobody's trapped in the cave. But they have my scooter here. So there is a scooter parked at the entrance to the cave, and if at the end of the day the scooter, or any scooter, is still sitting there, then of course they know, something's wrong, someone went into the cave and they did not come out to reclaim their scooter. The other thing that occurred to me is that people not mentioning the cave, man, spiders everywhere. So many over there. I don't want to look. It could be because caves are so common in Thailand. They're everywhere, right? So in Thailand, this cave, I'm stepping carefully because I don't want to step on any of these spiders, Not that I'm afraid of them, I just don't want to kill any of them unnecessarily. Yeah, it's just a very common thing here, a cave. And in Canada, as far as I know, we don't really have caves. I'm sure there are some somewhere, but they don't seem to be a very big deal. And a cave like this, maybe in Thailand, this is a mediocre cave. It's just sort of like, nothing special. But in Canada, this would be a major attraction, I think, because, we just don't have caves like this. So maybe that's the difference, why nobody talks about it, because it's considered ordinary here. But for me, as a visiting Canadian, it's something quite special. And that could be because I think the Rocky Mountains in Canada, geologically speaking, are quite young mountains. So they're still growing and pushing upwards with the rocks constantly tumbling off them. That's why they're so sharp and pointy. So they haven't really been sitting stable long enough for water to carve caves through them. Is that how caves work? But yeah, they're very young mountains, so maybe young mountains don't have cave systems. And ancient rock like this, I think this is much older rock. Maybe it's just had a lot more time to have caves carved out of them. Back out in the jungle. Beautiful butterflies floating around. All right, time to go back to the scooter, and then I think I'm going to head towards that coffee shop that I passed. Have an iced coffee or a fruit smoothie, something like that. And as I'm sitting there, maybe I can wind up this video with any last epilogue style thoughts. So here's the the surface world. Man, what a difference in your head, you know? The mood and the atmosphere is so different from being inside that cave with all the narrow spaces, and then you're suddenly outside this wide open space. It just feels weird. Here's my trusty steed, waiting patiently. It was in the shade when I went in, but now the poor thing is sitting out in the hot sun. Shade moved over to there. I've already forgotten the name of this place. It made me think of a Kobe Bryant for some reason. So I know it has something like Takhobi Park. I think that might be it. The Takhobi Cave. Here's the sign at the entrance. Yes, Takhobi. Tham Takhobi Forest Park and Takhobi Cave. On the road again. And here we are at the coffee shop. Let's see. Find a nice shady spot for my scooter. I don't think I know what the name of this place is. Let's see if we can find a name in English as I get closer. Just says Umphang Coffee Shop. And it's right on the main highway as you head into Umphang. So this is what it looks like. And yeah, got a nice variety of seating out here on a balcony or a veranda. And then they've got some tables over there as well. And then some seating on the inside, a sofa and tables and chairs. And they make your usual hot and iced coffees and Italian sodas, a bunch of teas. Yeah, popcorn seems to be a thing around Umphang for some reason. I've seen a lot of people eating popcorn, and popcorn is for sale. I don't know why that would be. Oh. Well, I found a little spot tucked away in the corner here beside this tree. I was going to sit out there in one of the main tables because I got these big, comfortable chairs, but they have music playing on the speakers. So over there, I would end up getting a lot of recorded music on the GoPro video, and I can't have that, so I had to hide over here. Ooh. Yeah, that is the name of it in English, the Umphang coffee shop. And on the inside, you can see they're selling some tourism T-shirts and some souvenirs and things like that. Here's the iced cappuccino and the logo of this place. And one interesting touch is their straws are kind of made of cardboard. They're not plastic straws. They're paper cardboard straws. I'm sure I will approve. Let's see. Oh, very nice. They're all amazing, these iced cappuccinos. I think there's another business here, kind of on the corner, that also springs out of Umphang's nature as a tourist town. I remember driving by, and I think they have a bunch of elephants, not live ones, but elephant statues there, so that people can take selfies with the elephants. You have to give us tourists something to do, you know? Oh, here it is. Here it is here. And there's one of the elephants. And a man with a mustache. He kind of looks like the that famous musician with the mustache from the store.